Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Nizira's Corner. So, a few months ago, I heard about this new show called The Bear because everybody was talking about it on Twitter. Now, I will admit I was confused at first because my dumbass thought that everybody was talking about actual bears, but then I learned that that was just the name of the show. So I was like, okay, well, why don't I check this show out? And I was not disappointed. This show was phenomenal. It tells the story of a chef named Carmi who takes over his brother's restaurant after his brother tragically took his own life. The show is not only funny as hell, but it's also extremely devastating. But its biggest strength lies in its characters. They all feel so human. And the acting, girl, everybody is getting Emmys. Let me explain. Okay, first character we're going to talk about is Carmi. Now, right out the bat, people do way too much on Carmi. He is not that bad. Like, the internet be calling my dude a loser for what reason? Just because he got beat up by those nerds at one time? Okay, and I love Carmi, okay? I'm not going to fully justify his behavior in episode 7, but I'm going to say this. I do understand why he reacted the way that he did because if I had to work in a kitchen as stressful as the one in this show, I probably would also have a Gordon Ramsay moment, and I think you would too. Um I understand his rage. I don't condone it, but people need to lay off of him. Richie's right there. Hate him instead. Okay, next character is Sydney. I like Sydney. Sydney was low-key the saving grace at this restaurant. Like, her ideas were genius. Richie was being a dick to her. He was also being racist as hell. Though one thing that bothers me about Sydney is that her impatience. Something that she does that pisses me off in this show a lot is that she brings up an idea to Carmi, usually a good one, but she can clearly see that he is preoccupied with something else because his kitchen is always very, very busy. And she'll get mad at him, get mad at him, and start acting all hostile when clearly she can see that he's just busy. Like, girl, just wait a second. And also, episode 7. I understand why she quit. Carmi did not need to be screaming in her face like that. However, Sydney pissed me off a bit, just a little bit, because she did not take accountability for the fact that the reason why that happened, that whole situation happened, was because her tablet malfunctioned. I understand why she quit, but no accountability, none. Okay. She angered me a bit with that too, but I do love Sydney, and I'm glad she came back, and I hope she brings more changes to the restaurant in season 2. Also, I do not ship her with Carmi at all. I don't see what you guys see. I don't see those two as a couple. I see those two as like good friends. Carmi kind of acts sort of like a mentor, big brother type to Sydney, and I don't see them becoming romantically involved. I wouldn't mind if they did that, but I don't ship those two at all. Okay, next character is Fack. I love Fack. I think he's funny. I don't really know much about him, but I know that he deserves a better friend than Richie. Okay, next character is Marcus. Sorry, Fack. I'm sorry that Fack's uh character analysis was so short, but I really don't know that much about him except that he's really really funny. Um, Next character is Marcus. Marcus is very sweet. But he low key pissed me off in season 7, and I don't know if I can forgive him for that. The donuts. Really. That was one of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen in my life. And then he quit. Like, he quit along with Sydney because Carmi smushed his donut. Marcus, come on now. What the hell was he thinking? What the that was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my life. And then he quit, just like Sydney. But while I can understand why Sydney quit, I don't understand why Marcus quit. I understand, like, Carly was being a dick, but Marcus, he genuinely kind of deserved a little bit of rage because why are you making donuts when y'all are in the middle of rush hour? It, that scene was so funny because of how absurd it was. Like, put the donuts down. Both Carmi and Sydney got on his ass for that. But he quit. He just walked out the door along with Sydney, and I think he came back in the end. I don't really remember, but other than that, I don't know if I can forgive Marcus for that, but he's a nice guy. He's not like a bad guy. He just did something astoundingly stupid, and he didn't really own up to it, and that's what pisses me off. Okay, next character is Tina. I like Tina. I think she's interesting. I think she's funny. She pissed me off a little bit in the beginning because she was always acting very hostile to Sydney for whatever reason. We're never really given a reason as to why. Um, but eventually she gets her act together, and she's cool. She's really interesting, and she and Sydney even become friends. That was really nice. Um, I like the relationship that she has with Richie, even though I personally believe that Richie deserves nothing. But Tina's very sweet. She's a little fiery. She got a little uh she got some passion to her. She's very passionate about cooking. I can tell that she's definitely a perfectionist. So she puts a lot of like pressure on herself, and that's an interesting aspect to her character that I hope we get to see explore more in season 2. Oh boy. Last character is Richie. Richie is a menace. I knew that the second this man came barging into this kitchen, when he sees his cousin cooking, slaving away in this kitchen, trying to cook this meal for his customers, he starts screaming. Richie starts screaming about spaghetti, 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 and he starts saying all types of crazy shit to Carmi. He and Carmi just be going at it, and it's always very, very funny. But Richie's an ass. He starts First he starts screaming about spaghetti, then he starts distracting all the other chefs by telling this dumbass story about something that he did, while Carmi's trying to get everybody to do their jobs because hello, a barrage of customers are about to be coming into the restaurant pretty soon. But Richie's just like, no, I'm gonna keep telling this story and distracting everybody instead of doing my freaking job. And then, don't even get me started about Sydney. Richie, he be saying some of the most racist shit to Sydney, and it honestly just I was just taken aback by it. Sydney took Richie to go get some tools to fix a hole in the wall, and when he gets a phone call from his ex-wife to talk to his daughter, he hangs up the phone. Sydney is like, she starts talking about something I don't remember, but Richie calls her hysterical, and then he makes this big fuss over her bringing changes into the restaurant. He says a whole lot of racially coded stuff to her, and then she accidentally stabs him. One of the greatest scenes in the entire show. He had that shit coming. Like Carmi himself said, he deserved it. And also when he called the cops on those guys because he was mad that Sydney calmed them down instead of him, who was about to bring a gun into that fight and make everything like 10 times worse. What the hell was that about? Richie is a loser. Like, he is a destructive loser, a destructive racist loser. He's funny, but he is incredibly annoying. He's incredibly loud and destructive and absolutely ridiculous. I don't like him. I don't like him. I hope Fact gets away with him. I hope he gets help for whatever issues that he has. But he needs to be fired. He does. He needs to be fired because he brings nothing but trouble into this restaurant. All right, well that does it for this video. There are some other characters in this show because they kind of have a big staff, but I don't know all their names and I don't know enough about them to actually give a in-depth analysis into them like I did for the other characters. So I highly recommend that you watch this show. But if you worked in the kitchen and it's as chaotic as it's portrayed in this show, then this show might be a little bit triggering for you because even though I've never stepped foot in a restaurant kitchen, every episode had my blood pressure skyrocketing. So if you're a chef, God bless you. If you like this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Bye!